Roll the drums.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, welcome to the second travelogue of what we hope will be a very long series of you sharing your adventures with the rest of us. We'll talk more about that. But today is a very big day, a very important day. We have a couple travelers that did something very few people ever do. They went around the world. And before they take us around the world, please turn off your cell phones, please. Thank you very much. So we have actually had two couples at Royal Oaks who went around the world, but today we're going to hear from Joe Herrera and Dolly Sokol on their 124-day adventure. Please help me welcome Dolly and Joe.
Well, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and willing to do 124 days in 60 minutes. It's going to be a little bit of a gallop, but I hope you'll enjoy it. We're going to wait for questions till the end. Feel free to come up and ask us those. And here's some of our souvenirs and pictures and plaques and all that kind of stuff you can look later on. So Joe, most of my time is going to be spent with my back towards you. So I just wanted you to see who's the head talking before I have to sit down and look at the screen. Joe, do you want to say a few words?
Well, no, I think I just want to, again, welcome everyone to journey with us through this 124 days that we spent going around the world. And it was an adventure, needless to say, and lots to learn, lots of countries, lots of cultures, traditions, that we were able to, to enjoy and to experience and to bring home to you. So with that, go ahead, Dal.
Okay. Well, we boarded our ship Zuiderdam, Holland America, Zuiderdam, on this year, January 3rd. And we did a round trip from Fort Lauderdale back to Fort Lauderdale. So there's our map of where we were. So we started down in South America, went over to Easter Island, and Polynesia, then up to Australia, Komodo, Kuala Lumpur, Phuket, Seychelles, Africa, Gibraltar, Cairo, Kudasi, Barcelona, Lisbon. Some of the ports, some of the European ports we had been to a couple of times, but most of the other ports were not familiar to us at all. So we were like thrilled to try it. We were setting to do it a couple of years ago. Then Joe's mom turned 100, and so we wanted to make sure we were here for that. And then finally he asked his mom, and she said, "You can go, son." So she gave her blessing, and off we went. All right, now go back to the other one, the one before it, Joe, for just a minute. Let's see. The Zuiderdam, the ship there in the corner, is a 1,400. Wait a minute, I've lost my place. A 1,900 passenger ship. We sailed with about 1,400. It's mid-size in terms of the ship size. Now, we started with 1,400 passengers. Our last leg, we had 700 passengers. So people got off in different ports. They decided they were going to get off in a port and spend some time in Europe or whatever. So this was our cruise director. Her name was Kimberly. She was by far the best cruise director we ever had on any cruise ship. She was like the Energizer Bunny. She was all over the ship. She was at every party. She was at the dock as you were getting off. She was there when you came back. She was just marvelous. And of course, she was a theater person in her previous life, so That could be why she was so good. Okay. All right, so that's our ports. Now this is when we got on the ship. See, this is Kimberly, the captain, and the hotel director greeting us as we got on the ship. And here I am by the pool already. Okay, hon. Our first port was Grand Caymans. Like some of you, we were here before on various Caribbean cruises, but we thought we'd just take a look and see what else there is to see. Okay, now, one of the places we went was Hell. Hell is the only this is Hell's post office. And what Hell's is on Grand Cayman. It's like, it looks like a field of lava, but it's not, it's plants. And it was interesting. So everybody goes to Hell and sends a postcard from Hell to all their friends. Okay. We also looked at the beaches in Grand Cayman. They're gorgeous, of course. And then we went to the turtle farm to see the turtles. Joe welcomed us into Grand Cayman. Here's another picture of our ship as we go through. And then that night, next, Joe, was our elegant captain's dinner. Here's our captain. We were in tuxedo and gown, and they welcomed us on board to the ship. It was marvelous. I had my little lemon drop martini. It was great. Okay. Our first port after that was Puerto Limon, Costa Rica. And there was another ship docked next to us. I can't remember what it was. Was it Royal Caribbean or something? But Joe, of course, likes to take the pictures with all the natives. So we took pictures in Costa Rica with the native dancers. Go ahead. Yeah. We visited this village that had traditional dancers, so I decided to do my part and have a picture with them, too. They did some wonderful dances. Go ahead, Joe. And, go ahead, keep going. You went back. Okay, and here I am. They invited the audience members to come up and try the dances, so here I am trying with other people. We saw a sloth in a tree, and we had the most sweetest bananas we have ever tasted in Costa Rica. It was marvelous. So we just had a nice time there. Then on to the Panama Canal. It's a wonder. It should be labeled a wonder of the world, because the engineering that had to go into this to build it was incredible. You sail through 3 locks, and the locks bring you up or down depending which up on the way out. Yeah, so they raise you to the height of the next dock.
Lock. Yeah.
Yeah, lock. And then you go there, and they raise you to the height of the next one. So there's 3 locks that you have to go through in order to traverse the canal. Joe, tell them about this.
Lake Canton. Yeah.
Huh?
Lake Canton.
Lake Gatun. Yeah. Tell them about this little guy here.
Which one?
I'm
on the wrong slide.
No, you're on the right slide. It's the little Jeep here on the side of it.
The little, what they call the mules.
The mule, yeah.
I think whoever's been on the Panama, or through the Panama Canal, these little mules, as they call them, actually help guide the ship through the lock. You know, they attach cables to the ship so that it doesn't hit any the sides of the ship. So that's important that just for the travel.
Yeah, just to keep the ship
Right.
centered in the canal. Do you have any more pictures there, Joe?
Nope,
That's it?
that's it for
Okay.
Panama.
All right. You cut your pictures a lot. I didn't know that. Okay. So, but you just went out on out deck and watched the canal, and you could just watch forever. Then we landed in Ecuador, in Manta, Ecuador, and we had never been to Ecuador. It's a very, very poor country. The average wage is $435 a month. We went to a town called Monte Cristi, where we experienced the cottage industry of transforming an agave plant into fibers, Go to the next one.
But let's talk a little bit about this first.
Okay.
Because
Well, you talk
this
about
is,
it.
yeah, this is, the hat that you see is the Panama hat. And interestingly enough, many people think that the Panama hat comes from Panama. It doesn't. The Panama hat comes from Ecuador, and it just so happened that I guess it was President Theodore Roosevelt was in Panama. He got a hat that was given to him, and it was the Panama hat. But Panama hats are made in Ecuador, and this particular hat that you see, $10,400. So it's handmade, and you'll see a little bit of the process that they go through just to make that hat.
Okay, go to the next slide. Here's the people separating the palms. It's called the toquilla palm. It can take from 1 to 6 months for a weaver to make a Panama hat. So this guy separates them, then she takes them and leans on this pedestal all day and weaves the hat. It's incredible. Go ahead, hon. So these are, semi-finished hats, and then there's the finished hats. And so, they have the whole process all the way through here. But it was fascinating, and we had no idea Panama hats were made in Ecuador or that there was such a lengthy process. Do you have another picture?
Nope.
No. Okay, here we are. Now, the other place we went in Ecuador was the transforming of the agave plant into like reeds here, weaving it and transforming it into rope, bags, and hemp, those kinds of things. And, here they are all laid out here. But again, it's a cottage industry that makes the bags and the rope for the island.
Aside from just the rope that they make out of the agave plant, when they, you can see down in the bottom left where one of the workers is actually shaving that. The other thing that they make out of that agave plant is tequila.
Oh yeah, tequila from the agave. All right. So we took a tour of Ecuador to see that. And then we drove to a cottage that makes buttons. They make where's the buttons? Here's all sorts of buttons here. And they make them from scratch, from...
Well, actually, the buttons are made from, this is vegetable ivory, what they call vegetable ivory. And you can see in the top left where those are little buttons, and inside there's even more buttons, or these little, what I guess you can call them just little, what would you call them? They're almost like rocks.
Yeah.
And then they open them up, and then inside there is this vegetable ivory. And you can see down in the bottom right to the bottom, and then over to the right a little bit, you'll see inside what one of these plants has.
Yeah, so it's amazing. So we saw 3 cottage industries there, and it was quite a sight. Then we passed by the fish market. There are fish markets in a lot of ports, but and they sell them. They sell them to restaurants, large catering places.
But what's unique in Lima, in Manta, you can see the yellowtail tuna. They're one of the largest exporters of tuna to the world.
Yellowfin tuna, right there. Yeah, so it's a real industry. Yeah, yep.
Next.
Okay. Now we sailed on to Lima, Peru, and this was a 2-night, 3-day port. The reason it was a 2-night, 3-day port is because some people were going to go to Machu Picchu, and that took taking an airplane over, seeing Machu Picchu, staying overnight, taking an airplane back. Unfortunately, none of the tours would take Joe. He's just so nasty, because of his disability. So, and it was pretty steep, so I didn't go either. But so we had 2 full days to explore Lima. Go back one. Okay. So we went to 2 separate excursions. Joe went to the...
This is the one I went on.
Okay,
yeah.
the Peruvian pyramids of Pachamac, a pre-Columbian pyramid. And the god Pachamac was the feared god who was believed to predict not only the future, but also the movements of the earth, including earthquakes. Interestingly enough, the difference between a Egyptian pyramid and a Peruvian pyramid is that the Egyptian ones come to a point. These are flat on the top. Yeah, see how, it's all flat there. Yeah, there you go. They don't ever come to a point.
Yep. And next, this is the tour that I went on too. This is
Joe visited the city of Lima, so went to the church there.
This is the basilica. Interior of the basilica.
And this is in Peru, so this is, they've got an altar, they've got carvings. Beautiful. Intricate work.
This is yours.
Then I went to a museum, and they had some of the ancient carvings. Then we had some tequila, and then we saw a horse show. And it was beautiful. And we sat outside on the ranch and saw the horses. They call them, a paso horse, the Peruvian paso, P-A-S-O horse. And they entertained us, and they were able to prance around. It was beautiful. That was nice. Then, Joe was at another park where they had an interesting nude statue of a man and a woman. Ooh. XXXX. Okay. And then we were lucky enough that the Holland arranged for Peru, people from Peru, to come on board and do a show for us, the lands and customs and traditions of Peru. So it was so nice because they did different dances, which were from the different customs. Somebody narrated for us, and it was gorgeous. So when we weren't outside, we were inside.
Okay,
Next. Then we went to Easter Island, Chile. This is off the coast of Chile. We were told we were lucky to even get, there's our boat, our ship here, you don't call it a boat, our ship here. We were told we were lucky to even get near the island because most of the time, even though it's scheduled, ships cannot get to the island because of the high waves that don't allow the tenders, which are the small boats, to come in. So Joe could not go.
But I could see from the ship.
But he could see from the ship these moai right here. These are the ancient moai statues. And here's more of them. We're all over the ship. They were ancient leaders who people revered, and some gods. And they, when they were on the shore there, they were said to protect the people. This, in the native tongue, Easter Island is called Rapa Nui. Wait, I got to turn my page here. Most of the moai represent ancestral chiefs who are believed to have been descended from the god, whose supernatural powers could be harnessed for the benefit of the community. These massive stone figures were usually erected on platforms of some kind, although that was buried right in the, well, I think it might have sunk right in the ground. And it was amazing. The statues weigh between 10 and 13 tons and are roughly 13 feet high. Again, how did people build these way back when? You know, they had no facilities to do it. They just rolled stones. Oh my God! But it was when you stood on the ground in front of these moai, there was a spirit there. You could feel it. I could feel it. And our guide, told us about the moais, but the island is very sparsely populated. They don't have a lot of things, but still the generations follow their ancestors and stay on that island.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. We passed by Pitcairn Island, and this is of Mutiny on the Bounty fame. Pitcairn Island was settled by the Polynesians. There's 4 tiny islands there. There's only 1 inhabited. Pitcairn Island has only 50 residents. We saw it from a distance. Its notoriety stems from the fact that in 1789, Fletcher Christian, led a mutiny of the HMS Bounty against their tyrannical leader, Captain Bligh. The event is depicted in the classic film Mutiny on the Bounty. Now, what was interesting is, do you have another one?
No. Nope.
No, that's Papeete. You don't have another one.
Nope.
Okay, back up. Okay. The mayor of Pitcairn Island came on board and told us, he took a little tender out and came on board and told us the history of the island, and he brought with him some crafts people. And so they had a little crafts bazaar on the upper deck of our ship to buy some of their things, because there are only 50 people and it was too hard to get to the island, so they came to us. This thing of bringing people on board was really unique. I think we've only seen it on one other ship. That really helped make everything come to life, and the people who couldn't stay out an extended period of time. Okay, so Pitcairn Island. Oh, did you have your hat on?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just.
Okay, all right. Here he is in Papeete, Tahiti. Well, it's the capital of French Polynesia. It's a string of 118 islands and atolls. Papeete, Tahiti, is about halfway between Los Angeles and Sydney, Australia. So it's kind of the halfway point. Now, Joe and I visited this island in 2017, but we took excursions to sites we had not experienced, like the Museum of Tahiti, indigenous art, Venus Point with its light tower, and black sand beaches. Oh, you didn't took out the picture of, there was an water aerobics class going on the beach here when we were there. So they have it there too. And then Fatua Waterfall, and then this beautiful inlet in there. It was,
Okay, then.
what do you have next, hon?
Next is
Oh
the
yeah,
dance.
then again, the Ohinahere dancers came on the ship and gave us a little bit of a taste of their culture. Is this a video?
It went off.
We'll turn it on.
Now it's your turn.
Yeah, okay. Next. This dance is known as the Ori Tahiti. No, not Borea, go back. I'm still on Papeete. Ori Tahiti. And it is done at every festival and party they have in Tahiti. There's always musicians and a set of dancers that play at all these festivals. So the dancers know the dance well, but just the drums and the chanting and the movement, it gets your heart pumping even if you didn't get up there and do a single step. It was crazy.
Next.
What, hon? Okay, now, then I keep wanting to say we flew to, we sailed, that's the word, to Moorea, French Polynesia, and of course there were people greeting us, the French Polynesian dancers and the ukulele and all of that. It's only 11 miles from Tahiti. We had been to Moorea before, so we just strolled along the island and met indigenous dancers and local markets. And then the movie South Pacific shot a number of scenes in Moorea. It's beautiful. Little local church there. Yeah. Oh, this is one of the hotels that has, rooms right over the water that you can just dive into the water. The water is so clear. We didn't colorize these. That's how clear they were. It was awesome. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yeah, next. Okay, now we sailed to Polynesia, Rarotea, French Polynesia, where there was a Chinese festival celebrating Chinese New Year. So we had to take a picture with the dancers. That was really cool. Rarotea is another gorgeous port. We visited a black pearl farm where this is how the pearls are caught in the oysters. They have a whole process of getting them out, polishing them up, and then selling them for jewelry, of which I have a few pieces, and so does Joe's daughter. But black pearls are a big thing in Rarotea. And then we saw some more Rarotean dancers dancing in the plaza. Okay, I think her hips swung more than his did. Okay, then we sailed on to Rarotonga in the Cook Islands. We were there after we crossed the international date line, and we got a certificate, each one of us, for crossing the international date line. They gave that to us on the ship.
What was unique is that you go to sleep on a Monday night and wake up on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And you wonder, where did Tuesday go? If you had a birthday on Tuesday, you forget it.
You lost it.
Yeah, you lost it.
Tonga was a new port for us. We had not been here before. Go back.
Okay.
It was pouring rain. You probably can't see it, but so.
No, that was Tonga. This is Rarotonga.
Oh, Rarotonga. Never mind. We were welcomed by Tongan dancers here.
We did our shopping there too.
We did our shopping. There was a free market here, so I walked the market and bought some things. Now, do we have another one before the day on the ship?
No.
Okay. Now, you'd think we'd get bored being on a ship, because sometimes we had to go 4, 5, 6, 8 days on the ship with no land. We were not. They had so many things for us. They had dancers. They had lei making. There's our certificate. This guy did a talk on the Polynesian lei. Joe made one for me. So here we were. And they just did so many things on the ship to keep us entertained. Now, if we were tired, we just could go into our cabin and veg out. But if not, there was plenty. Here they're teaching ladies how to do the
hula dancing.
To hula, yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Here's where it rained.
This is where it rained. Nuku'alofa Tonga Tapu Tonga. This was right off the ship. They danced even in the rain. Then we went to an excursion. Well, luckily, they had put a tarp over them so we could see the ladies and the gentlemen. This was our narrator. She was marvelous, and she told us about all the different, what do I want to say, crafts, how they make them, the styles, the cloth, all of that, the dress. It was gorgeous. What else do we have?
That's it.
That's it for Tonga? Okay. Then we sailed on to Noumea, New Caledonia.
Yeah, you did one tour and I did another.
We did 2 tours. I visited the Jean-Marie Tjibaou Cultural Center, which celebrates, wait, don't turn it, the Kanak, K-A-N-A-K, culture. This is the cultural center, the original, or not the original, but the replica of tents, and then this architect decided to build the cultural center like this, kind of with the same kind of reaching up to the sky. There's me and a cow. Okay. Go ahead, hon. Yeah, and then this was inside the huts where they slept, one next to another. Huge, huge, huge. These are some of the totems they had, sculpture. And this is the outside of the buildings. It was beautiful and fascinating. So we walked the grounds all the way around, could go right in these huts. It's amazing.
Okay, next.
Yep.
Then this is mine.
Okay, talk about yours.
Okay, and this is one of the churches, one of the Catholic churches there in Tonga, and the interior of it, and a little statue of Mary there, and then some traditional dancing that was that I got to see along the. Basically, it was in a little market area that they did that.
Yeah. And it's the Kanak culture, and the Kanak Indians.
Okay, next.
Next, please.
There we are.
Okay, here we are in Sydney, Australia. Famous Sydney Bridge. Here's the Opera House. There's sailing galore. We were surprised. We'd never been to Sydney. We always wanted to visit down under, and we awoke Tuesday morning, and there we were. This is called the Anzac Bridge. We took a tour across the bridge. We visited the Rocks, which is the next thing. Where's the Rocks?
It's right. Well, that's part of it.
Oh, this is the Rocks Cafe.
Yeah.
But you took out the rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, here they are. This is an old jail where they used to keep the pirates and the prisoners, and you could see the size of their little cells. Now they turned it into a very pleasant bar and restaurant area. Now go back to the other one. More, back, more, back. There. See, it's got the Rocks Cafe, nice walking area. What's this church, Joe? Remember this?
I think
St. Mary's
yeah.
Cathedral. Yeah. And then as we walked, we encountered some street musicians and a bird. The bird, yeah.
It's a bin bird.
Yeah, wait a minute. The bird is the ibis, I-B-I-S. But locally they call him the bin chicken because he ravages garbage cans and throws trash all over looking for food. So we would always say, there's a bin chicken. Yeah, there we go. So, and then beautiful scenery. Go ahead, hon. Then I went the next day to the Sydney Opera House. We were overnight in Sydney, so beautiful skyline. I went the next day to the Sydney Opera House. Here's the interior of it. The acoustics are incredible. Then they took us on a tour of the inside. Some of the operas. This is from the ship, from our cabin. We were over here looking at the Sydney Opera House. So we were right on this, right there. Yeah. What else, hon?
Okay, then this.
Oh, this is the street musicians as we walk through the.
Yeah, the Aborigines. Aborigines. What?
Go back to the Sydney Opera House for a second,
Okay.
because I have some things to say about that.
Oops.
That's good. The Opera House, the planning of the Opera House began in 1940, and there was an international design competition. 233 design entries were submitted in 1955, representing architects from 32 countries. The judging took quite a while to complete, but in 1957, they chose the winner. It was a Danish architect named Jorn Utzon. What a masterpiece. It was incredible. But it was interesting that they had a whole competition for it, and so many options. And then the members of the committee thought they had found one, and then the head of the committee, who couldn't be at that last meeting, finally came back and looked at what they chose and looked at all the ones that were finalists and said, nah, it's this one. And so that's the one they ended up building, was the Danish one. Okay, then on Valentine's Day, we went to Moreton Island, Australia. It was just a tiny island off the coast of Queensland. It was raining, you can't see all that, hard that day, and the seas were choppy. We stayed on the ship.
No, we didn't. Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, not Arley Beach, because these are stock photos, because it was too choppy to go anywhere. But we went to a nice Valentine's dinner. Joe got me roses, and we went to the extra special dinner that night, so it was sweet. Okay. Then we went to Arley Beach, Australia. We walked around the town. We had a drink at a local bar with ship's crew member and her husband, and then we walked into Woolworths. Would you believe Woolworths is on these islands here? Now, it's more like a Walmart than a Woolworths. It's not more like a Walmart than a five and dime. But Woolworths has made its presence felt in Australia. Yeah. Isn't that something? These are the bars and cafes, the beaches,
Okay.
all of that.
Move on.
Yeah. Then in Cairns, Australia, we decided to take an excursion which took us on this airplane, and we took a flight to see the Great Barrier Reef from the top. So there's Joe and I strapped in, got our earphones on, and this is what the Great Barrier Reef looks like from above. It is just beautiful. The colors are outstanding. Our stomachs were a little queasy at the beginning, but we got used to it, and we had our lady pilot with us. Did you have a picture of our lady pilot? Oh, yeah, there she is. And she guided us along, told us what we were doing and what we were seeing. That was awesome. We would never have known that, because we don't do scuba diving or things like that, so we can't see it from down under, so at least we saw it from above, which was great. Our last stop was Darwin, Australia, Wild Encounters. Joe was dying to see a kangaroo, but the best we could see was a wallaby. Is that what that is? The wallaby there.
Yeah.
We toured Darwin Territorial Park, and we saw water buffalo, birds, Got our picture with some of the sculptures, crocodiles, saltwater crocodiles, ostriches, and I got to pet a white snake. What kind was it?
Python.
Python, there I am. Ew, I didn't want to do that, but okay, I did it.
Okay, here we go.
All right, this was amazing. Did you ever hear of the Komodo dragon? Yeah, well, here's where it's found. It's in Slawi Bay, Komodo Island National Park in Indonesia. Here's a statue of the Komodo. Here's one of the real Komodos.
And look who's standing next to one.
And look who's standing right behind one, right next to one. This is our guide. And this is one of the stories that happened. Okay, I got to tell you this. All right, so they take us, to a clearing. We walk through the forest, and they take us. Joe couldn't go on the island because he couldn't get off and on the ship again. So I went myself. The tour guide took us through the forest and the brush, and we finally got to a center where the Komodo dragons started to gather. I think because they had food for them. So they started to come in. And they just walked around with us. I mean, they were like, walking here, walking there. We took some pictures. The guy took some pictures. And then, I started looking at the trees and everything. Now, the Komodo dragon has some pretty fierce tongue and teeth. And so I'm looking at the trees and walking, and all of a sudden the crowd goes, "Ah!" I stopped in my tracks, and not 5 feet away from me was the mouth of the Komodo. Our guide came to the back of me, pulled me back and rescued me and said, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're still alive." Because apparently, about last year, a man was eaten partially by a Komodo dragon. They tried to get him to a hospital because they did some first aid, tried to fly him to a hospital, but he died en route. So, I mean, this, I was just la, 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 la.
Go watch the time.
Huh?
Watch it.
Watch my time. Okay, so that's my Komodo dragon story. All right, what else, hon? Okay, then. Okay, we went to, so I was lucky enough to avert death by dragon. Okay. Bali, Indonesia, we love the islands and its diverse culture. However, we would never drive in Bali. There are no, here's some.
That was our welcome when we got off the ship.
Yeah, that was a welcome to the culture. The traffic in Bali was terrible. There are no stop signs or traffic lights.
That worked.
There were motorbikes and tuk-tuks everywhere. It's every person for themselves. Luckily, we were on a big bus. So our guy was good, and he got around all the tuk-tuks. Now my earrings are falling off. Okay. And our guide was great. You don't have a picture of him, do you? His name was Kadek, and he told us a number of stories of the local culture. In the local culture, children are named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in their language. And then if there's a sixth, it's named 1 again. So there could be a family with 2 1s or 2 2s or 2 5s. Kadek means 5, and that's how we knew our guide and our waiter on the ship was also Kadek. So we knew he was the 5th child. Yeah, now Kadek took us to 3 temples, Hindu, Chinese, and Balinese. Each were spectacular, and people were praying at every temple that we went to. They were beautiful, right on the sea. But it's the middle of the day, and there's a whole bunch of people praying. One of the important hats of the culture is the udon. Show them your udon. This hat was worn by men who wanted to show their respect for their culture and for tradition. And so when we got to a place, Joe said to Kadek, take me to a store where I can buy an udon. And so he got an udon there. Go
So
ahead.
what's also unique is that the spirituality of this is that it helps for you to concentrate. It helps whoever wears it to concentrate more. So when I bought it, Dolly said, now you can concentrate more.
Yeah. And it does remind me of the old Johnny Carson skit, The Great Karnak. Remember that? And he was like,
Okay.
thought of things. But yeah, concentration was it. All right. Oh, I'm trying to point to you. All right, so that's his. All right.
How much you pay for that hat?
It was only about, I think, $7.
7 Singapore, or not Singapore, whatever.
We need to roll.
Okay, we gotta go. Okay, gotta go. Okay, so we went to Singapore. The unique parts of Singapore are this hotel that was built in the 70s, beautiful, like a ship, and then these tree gardens. This is called Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, and they had gardens of every culture inside this. It was beautiful. At night, those trees, where's the trees? Okay, well, you saw them before. The trees
You gotta
light
keep
up.
going.
Okay, and here are, we went to the top of the hotel, and this is the outlook from the top of the hotel.
Okay.
And the pool. Okay, then we took a private tour to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, because we had a little time there. It was an hour and a half trip just to get to Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital. We were surprised at both the ancient and modern skyline. This is the modern part. This is Petronas Towers, two 88-story towers linked by a sky bridge. Inside, there was a mall with 300 stores and then office buildings on the way up. More traditional buildings. We went to a mosque. There they all are there.
And
Then
Hindu, yeah.
Then he took us to a temple,
Hindu temple.
Hindu temple, where there was a real what is that? What animal is that?
That's a Brahma bull.
Brahma bull in there that they were going to walk down the street for the festival. There were sounds going on and everything. It was just great to be part of walking around their beautiful temples.
Okay.
Had to take our shoes off everywhere. Then we continued to Langkawi, Malaysia, Museum of Arts and Crafts. We saw indigenous fashion, jewelry, basketry, and painting. Beautiful. Then there was an interesting wedding chapel. They made garments, and then they showed you the wedding garments of various cultures within the Malaysian culture. So you could buy a garment, and then you saw wedding garments from each culture, and they had a little saying about each one of them. It was a gorgeous place. Then on to Phuket, Thailand. I've lost it. Okay, known for its stunning beaches, but we went to 2 Buddhist temples instead. There were elephant statues all around all the temples. The legend is that if you make a wish at an elephant shrine, and if it comes true, you have to bring a new elephant to the shrine. So, I mean, there were big elephants, little elephants all over the place at these 2 shrines. In the culture, elephants are believed to attract good luck, prosperity, and protection, while also enhancing wisdom and family unity. When we went inside the temple again, everybody was praying. It was unbelievable. We got such an education in Indonesia and Malaysia. It was too much. It was that much. Okay, where are we? Another temple here in
Sri Lanka.
Colombo, Sri Lanka. It's the Gangaramam Buddhist temple, which had a mix of styles. Went to another temple here in town, St. Anthony of Padua Church. So everything coexists there, whether it's Christian. Then we ran into another temple and snake charmers. So I had a monkey here that, and then these were the little tuk-tuks that people took around the city. Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, Dolly got within about 10 feet of those snake charmers, so I was a little afraid for her.
He was afraid to go near the snakes. I was like, okay, let's see it.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, then we sailed to Male in the Maldives. Male is one of the most densely populated islands in the world. It's known for its beautiful beaches and resorts, but we didn't go there and did a slice of life instead. We went to the fish market. We saw the spices, the bananas. Here's our ship on shore, and then we visited another temple there. But people go to the Maldives for vacations, here's the Maldives here. Then from the Maldives, we went to the Seychelles Islands. Again, another temple. We visited the National Botanic Gardens. Do you have a picture? Yes, Seychelles National Botanic Gardens. This is a coconut. What does it look like to you? Yeah.
They always say that, the woman usually saves the man's butt. There we go.
Yeah, save the man's butt, so they had me hold it. Then we went to a turtle farm where I actually could get down there and feed the turtle leaves, and he like pulled, and I pulled, and finally he got the leaves off to eat it. And then we ended the day with a drink at a beautiful beach, the bar overlooking the beach there. Then we went on to Mauritius and Réunion, two small islands off Madagascar, and these islands were both French-speaking. We toured some worship sites. There's a Catholic church there, Buddhist there.
Hindu, yeah.
Hindu. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Then La Possession, another small island there.
Beautiful landscape.
Beautiful landscape. Again, temples. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. Carvings. It's just too much to take in. It was so much to behold. Then we got to South Africa. Our tour took us in South Africa to the heart of Zululand. And so we went there, and in Cape Town, we also visited the Zulu. Or into Durban. Here's some more crocodiles. Here's Joe with the Zulu dancers in Durban, South Africa. These are the huts they used to live in. And these are the ceremonial dances. Do you have one?
Yep. Get on to the next one because we're
Okay, he's got another
time.
one here, yeah.
There's something about something about the sound in there, or the music. Something about the music.
Oh, the music. It was great harmony. It was just natural to them. And they showed us 3 different rituals. It was a coming of age dance, a pre-wedding, and wedding rituals. The dancing, as you saw from the guys, was very energetic. And then the coming together, the a cappella harmony, it was easy listening. Then we went to Cape Town. We were 2 days in Cape Town. First day, we took a private tour which brought us to the Cape of Good Hope and the Atlantic coast. The Cape of Good Hope was known for its striking scenery, and it was named this way because its discovery was a good omen that there was a way to go from Europe to India through the Cape of Good Hope. And then we went to a colony called the Boulders, which was a place of endangered penguins. Here they are. Here and there, saw a few monkeys on the way, Nelson Mandela, but the penguins were we had like a walkway that just went over where they were, and we saw hundreds of them. Then we stopped at a South African winery, and I had some delicious Groot wine, private stock. Wait, back up.
No, we got to go.
Oh, okay. All right. Where are we now? Oh, then the next day we took a 2-hour drive to a safari, the Aquilas Big 5 Safari in Cape Town, South Africa. Joe sat on one side, I sat on the other, so we could get pictures of all the animals. Here they are in their natural habitat. Joe stopped and had a refreshment at the bar. But elephants, zebras, do you have any more pictures? Oh, go back.
We got to keep going.
Okay, elephants, zebras. The big 5 are, wait a minute, I got it.
There.
Wait a minute. Big 5 are elephant, lion, rhino, leopard, buffalo.
We got 5 minutes left.
Okay, 5 minutes? We're not even halfway through. Okay, go on. Then we went to Walvis Bay, Namibia. Well, the closest we got was a mall and the endemic penguins. That was their main thing. Okay, and then never a dull moment on the ship. They had parties every night. This is the dueling piano bar where we went to almost every night. These 2 young guys were marvelous. They sang songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and they would let us sing along, and happy hour was then, so we had drinks half price. It was great. They had a classical artist. She was a wonderful violinist. They had a group brought on board called the Flywrights. They were marvelous black entertainers. We had sock hop night. We had the Kentucky Derby night. Joe had popcorn. We had, on each floor, we had a street party, so you'd get to know all your cabin mates in the cabins there. We had some other nights. Oh, the kids here. This is a rabbi who was on board for the whole thing. Joe had lots of drinks. We had duckies in the pool. We went for other things. This was Orange Night, where everybody dressed in orange. We had a towel animal day where they made all the towel animals, put them around the pool. We had you missed the King Neptune party. Okay, then we're in Praia, Cape Verde, a very small island off the coast of Africa. Took a walking tour, saw some friendly natives there. Then we went to the Canaries Island in Spain. This is Tenerife. This reminded us of the Australia. Go back.
We got to keep going here.
Australian.
We got 5 minutes left.
All right. Then we went to the pyramids of Guimar. Churches there. Beautiful auditorium. Go ahead, honey. Arrecife, Lanzarote, Spain. What a beautiful landscape.
Land of 300 volcanoes.
Land of 300 volcanoes. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. We went to another vineyard. Interesting. They planted the vines with rock barriers to protect them from the wind that would come in. There I am with
lava there.
Yeah, there's some lava there. It's my favorite bottle of wine. Here was the winery. I had a great time. Okay. Then we went around Gibraltar. We had been to Gibraltar before. You've heard of the monkeys of Gibraltar. They are rambunctious. They are feisty. They steal your purse. They steal your water. But they had one sitting in my lap. Then we walked around Gibraltar. It's a British territory. Had some lovely fish and chips. Okay, keep going. We've been to Barcelona several times, so we've seen, this is the Sagrada Familia Basilica. It was built by the architect and designer Gaudi. It was designed by Gaudi. It is fascinating. It has fruit on top of the place. It's decorated. The first time we went there, it wasn't even open to the public. It was still construction grounds. Well, now we went, and it was fully useful. Then there's some more Gaudi buildings. We went to another church there. Joe had
that's a
cathedral. Joe had paella. It was great. And then that little light show on the right at the bottom, we had in Barcelona, 2 of Holland's ships met each other. And so at night, we both went to the top of our decks and we had a drone light show. And the drone made pictures of lots of the places we had been. That's the Gaudi Cathedral there. Then we moved on to Alicante, Spain, which was a beautiful seaside port. We'd never been there, and it was stunning. A lovely, lovely basilica there. We ran into a wedding. So that's the inside of the wedding with the dad walking the bride. We were pleasantly surprised by this. It was lovely. Alicante was lovely. Then on to Lisbon, Portugal. Well, one of the things we found out about Lisbon is it's very hilly. You walk a lot of hills, up and down, up and down. So they have trolley cars to take you up to some of the streets. I took a taste of their black cherry liqueur, and that gave me more strength. And then in the middle of our tour, they had a power outage, and everything throughout Lisbon, and in fact, all of Lisbon and part of Spain went into a power outage. You might have heard about it on the news. So they couldn't make coffee. The restaurants closed because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't take credit cards. But we were able to go to the pastry place called Pastis de Belén, where
that's where it was created.
They're the ones that created this custard pastry. Joe ate 4 of them.
They were great. They were great.
They were absolutely delicious. But they had already baked those, so we had those. Then we luckily our bus was fuel powered, and we got onto the ship just fine. There's another monument at the deck of Portugal. So Portugal had to be more hilly than we expected. Then on to Tangier, Morocco. I had been there once when I was in my late 20s. We went to the Kasbah. It was mysterious. We crossed the Atlantic Ocean. We had a number of parties on the crossing because it was about 6, 7, 8 days long. So we had parties. Yeah. Our last port was San Juan, Puerto Rico, just before we got back to Fort Lauderdale. It was an amazing, amazing journey. We never thought we would have ever gone on anything like this. We absolutely loved it. In 2027, we plan to go on a 110-day Pacific Rim cruise, which starts in Los Angeles, takes you down to some of the islands, up to some of the countries, Vietnam, Hong Kong, then up to Japan. And then over the Bering Strait, down through Alaska, and ends in Vancouver. So if we're able, we had to put down a deposit because handicapped cabins are the first to be sold on these world cruises. So we had to put down a $10,000 deposit for 2027 to hold. And I only found one handicapped cabin. It was amazing. And please come up and look around, ask us questions. Thank you so much for our